How we doing? How we doing? How we doing, guys? Welcome to the Exec Podcast. I'm your host, Overless. What's up? A little under the weather, but we're all good. Um, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're new. Follow me on all my socials. Links are in the description. All right, let's kick it off with how did the Indiana Pacers pull off another game winner? Plain and simple. You are OKC. You force 24 turnovers. And what happens after that? You only get 11 points off of those turnovers, including 19 in the first half. Do I expect tonight to be any different? Maybe less turnovers. I think 24 is a bit of a stretch. Maybe something more around 12 to 15. But that's still over what Indiana would turn it over on a normal basis. Now, I do expect OKC to make an adamant effort to definitely capitalize off of those turnovers. Maybe not go for threes, get to the rim, get fouled, go to the line. You got 38 from SGA. I expect something around the same, something around 30 to 35. It's usually what SGA should be around. J-Dub didn't come along for the ride. I expect him to come along for the ride today. So as Chet, I think Chet cannot get played off the floor again if and only if he is willing to take the Siakam assignment down low when Indiana wants to go small. That's what killed him at the end. That's what made the game a one-point game. Siakam got an offensive rebound with I want to say somewhere around 15 seconds left, and then put it back, made it a one-point game, 109-110. And from there, SGA missed on an inbounds after a challenge that Siakam didn't get pushed. He got the inbounds. He got bumped. He bumped back. He thought he had a good shot. He overcooked it, hit it off the back of the rim. No rebounding. So Siakam gets the rebound, pushes it to gives it to Nembhard. Nembhard gives it to Tyler, and then to Tyrese. And then Tyrese goes to the right wing, a little 20-footer. Cason Wallace should have known how much time was on the clock. He should have not bite on the drive. There was not enough time to get a drive in. He should have stayed right in his hip pocket. He didn't. He hesitated, gave him a little bit of space, and 20 feet late, 19 feet later, 18 feet later, you get a game winner with 0.3 seconds left on the clock. The inbounds play was not going to work anyway. Miles Turner was too tall and just knocked it away with 0.3 seconds left. Very little can happen. And they lose a 15-point lead with 8 minutes left. The whole lead, the whole game. Controlled it the whole game. We're up by 20 at one point. And actually, no. But they were up by 15 with 8 minutes left in the game. And then they started shooting some bad threes. Alex Caruso shot 2 threes. J-Dub shot 2 threes back-to-back that he should have taken to the hole. Shea was doing what he could. They didn't get out to shooters, although Nembhard and Obi Toppin went off. Obi Toppin hit 5 threes after looking very shaky in the first half with 5 turnovers. Nembhard took it upon himself, went Kyrie mode for 2 threes that made it close, and then Tyrese ended it. Siakam played well, except that one was played well by the OKC Thunder. Besides that offensive rebound when they went small, they did change their starting lineup to Cason Wallace instead of Isaiah Hartenstein. I expect that to be reversed tonight. You do what you got. You do, and you keep doing what got you there. The gold double bigs, Chet and Hartenstein. If they do that at the end of the game, I think that Pascal Siakam does not get that offensive rebound. It's still a 3-point game. And you potentially have a better shot or the ability to go to the line on the other end and put that pressure on Pacers with the dwindling seconds down. Nembhard played good defense. Naismith played good defense. Obi Toppin played good defense. They are giving away, OKC is giving away wide open threes. They did it all season. They did it all the playoffs. People weren't hitting. This is the best three-point shooting team in the league at 48%, especially through the playoffs. So I expect them to play a little bit more man-to-man. Yes, they can clog the lane, but take less chances. Adjust to what Indiana likes to play. I feel like playing a one-on-one game like the Knicks did is better than helping, because when you help, Tyrese can dice you up. I expect them to stay on shooters. That will give more driving lanes for Tyrese, but at the same time, I believe in Lou Dort. I believe in a Shea, a J-Dub, Alex Caruso to stay with Tyrese and as the team goes on shooters. That possibly takes Isaiah Hartenstein out of the lineup, because once Miles Turner gets to the three-point line with Chet out there, Isaiah Hartenstein is going to have to cover a small guy, if not Pascal Siakam, which would probably be the best physical matchup since Pascal is 6'9" and has bullied everybody that they've put on him, whether it's shooting over them or just being lanky and longer. Now, I don't see a path still for the Pacers to win this series, even though it is 1-0. OKC was down 1-0 against Minnesota, and they beat the brakes off them. So I expect today to be a very convincing win, 15+, in my opinion. I know I was super wrong about Game 1. I really thought it was going to be a blowout. It kind of trended that way, 12 up at halftime. But coming out of the halftime break, unfortunately, the Pacers got on a quick 8-0 run, and they kept it in that 10 to 15 range. And with their threes making, unfortunately, they can get back in the game. They should, OKC should try to be up by 15 to 20 at halftime and really give them a punch, 10-0, something like that, a 12-2 run at the beginning of the first 5 minutes, first 2 to 5 minutes of the half, to really put this team away. You have to be up by 30, just like you have to be up by 30 against OKC, because they can turn you over that much. I expect the defensive intensity to be even higher, especially if they're playing single coverage. So I expect to get into them, get in the passing lanes when they're there, not when they're not, because then you get back cut to death, which happened a lot in the last game. I expect 12 to 15 turnovers or more for the Pacers. I expect SGA to have a good game. I expect J-Dub to show up and Chet. Caruso, stop taking threes, go to the rim. Isaiah Joe probably plays a little bit more to get that perimeter a little bit more open. But you cannot let this team just keep fighting and fighting and fighting until the game turns on you, because they're a better clutch team than you, unfortunately, based on what we've seen so far this season. As for Haliburton, played a horrible game, 14 points, but did it when he needed to do it. Do I like him as a superstar? No, not really. He is a star. He's very clutch, but he is not a superstar to me. He is not a guy that you can expect in a finals game to go out and get you 30, 15. You know, he can do it, but he doesn't have the propensity to have that fire to do it. We'll see tonight. I expect him to get very, very roughed up by Lou Dort. Same with Nembhard. I expect him not to have open threes. Same thing with Naismith. Miles Turner will have Chet in his face whenever he goes to pop out to the three. I expect a better game from Chet. Defensively and offensively, to be honest, in both. I expect a better rebounding game with OKC, because they lost the rebounding battle in the second half, although they had a great rebounding advantage in the first half. But these are the second half series. These are second half games. Adjustments at halftime. Rick Carlisle's a very good coach. So is Mark Dagnall. It's going to come down to execution. It's going to come down to shot making and the turnover points battle and fast break point battle. These two teams love fast breaks, love transition points. Whoever wins those usually is going to win out of this series, just because it is so fast. I expect SGA to be as dominant as he was. Came out aggressive. He scored, I believe he scored like 19 in the first quarter or 12 in the first quarter. Came out like gangbusters, kept it going, but just couldn't finish it. That last shot off the back rim, no rebounding for OKC on the floor. Unfortunately cost them. I expect the big lineup to be in that situation. At least Chet to combat what Siakam does at 6'9", rebounding. But we got a 1-0 series. Still early. OKC back in it tonight at home. I expect them to be 1-1 going back to Indiana later this week. Game 1 and Game 2 of the NHL Finals. The Stanley Cup. Oilers. Panthers. A rematch of last year that went 7. And the Panthers, thank God we won last year. Game 1. It's been 2 thrillers. 1 in overtime. 1 in double overtime. Game 1, we're up 3-1 in the second period. Looks like we're cruising. And then out of nowhere, boom, boom, third period comes. And it's 4-3. We're losing. We tie up. And I believe, or it was 4-3 us, and then they tie it up late. No, that was the second game. Second game, they tied it up really late. Like with 50 seconds left on a power play. That sent us to overtime. So the first game, they tie us up after being up 3-1. We go to first OT. We basically battle all OT. And this series and every single period has literally been 5 minutes Florida controlling the puck. 5 minutes of Oilers controlling the puck. Middle, floor check, icing, a penalty here and there. Nothing crazy. We've seen some 4-on-3s. We've seen some 3-on-3. We've seen some even 5-on-3. But the better power play team to me is the Oilers just because of the speed. Draisaitl, you have McDavid. I think that they still have the edge on the speed-wise. The power is us, is the Panthers. Guys like Jones. Marchand has been a godsend, an absolute godsend to this team. He won Game 2 on a breakaway. After we could have won on a breakaway earlier in the game, but Verhaeghe just couldn't put it in. The 2 goalies are playing their asses off. 46 saves, I believe, or 42 saves in Game 2 for Big Bob. Skinner's playing his ass off as well. It's just like it's so tough because when the teams are controlling the puck, it is constant shots at the net. When Florida's on the floor check and they pass it around and you have Verhaeghe and Tkachuk and Jones and Marchand, every line is moving. Rodriguez, every single line is moving. Barkov, every single line is moving. Every single line is passing the ball, and we're shooting. Same thing with the Oilers. When McDavid gets on a breakaway, it is magic on ice. Draisaitl right next to him, and he just makes great passes, shoots incredible shots. And Leon Draisaitl got the first goal in the second game, and the first goal in the first game and the game-winning goal with 12 seconds left in OT. We were going to go to the second OT, and then Leon Draisaitl hits the game-winning goal in Game 1. In Game 2, we go to overtime. Nothing happens. It's still 4-4, and then Marchand in OT number 2 gets a breakaway goal, and we are 1-1 going to Sunrise to try to get 2 at home, go up 3-1, and then try to probably close it in Game 6 back here at home. This series is absolutely incredible. Some of the best hockey I've ever seen, and I don't even watch hockey. I just watch playoff hockey, but it's exciting minute to minute. You're on the edge of your seat. The hits are big. The plays by the superstars are even bigger. Penalties really matter. Like, you get a penalty, like, you are definitely at a disadvantage on both sides. For the Oilers and the Panthers, they're both great penalty teams. The penalty kills are clutch. Big saves, big moves. I love it. It is great to watch. Great hockey. Even though I'm not a hockey person, I was born in Puerto Rico and lived in Florida all my life. And just recently, the Panthers have been good the last 3 years, going to 3 Stanley Cups. We're trying to get 2 in a row. I believe we can do it, especially with Brad Marchand, a 3-time champ with the Bruins. I just think that we are the better, more complete team when it comes to line to line to line to line. The thing is, the Oilers are a more talented team. We're the tougher team. They're the faster team. We're the power team. They're the finesse team. You know, it's very back and forth, but it's really exciting hockey. Really exciting. Can't wait for Game 3. All right, Oscar Piastri wins after Kimi Antonelli blows his engine late, and it goes to a safety car. McLaren gets a 1-2. Hamilton gets 6 behind Hülkenberg. That's the best finish for a Sauber, I think, in like 20 years. Verstappen, he gets mad. He's supposed to let Russell by because he went off the track and gained an advantage, but unfortunately, going into the corner while he was letting him by, he just ran into him, gets a 10-second penalty, and finishes 10th. So there goes a bunch of points for him. Just a dumb move out of frustration for Max. You know, he's a hothead. He's been like this forever, ever since he was a kid. It just shows that, you know, he still has that temper, you know, and sometimes he can't corral it in. And it was with 2 laps left. I mean, come on. Norris lost 2 spots at the start, and that's what put him on the back foot, even though he finished second, but he just couldn't challenge Piastri. Piastri just managed his tires great, just drove a great race. Piastri looks like the championship front runner to me. He just looks like the most complete driver right now with the best car. To be honest, I think Lando still has a little bit of learning to do. And then Ferrari just keeps... Ferrari gave Lewis Hamilton an awful car this year. It's just what it is. There's no other way to say it. They don't listen to him. They want to challenge his calls when he's a 7-time world champion. I mean, I talked about this in the last episode. It's sad. It's sad that Ferrari just doesn't trust what he says, considering all the success he had whooping their ass for 12 years. But, you know, it is what it is. I think that it will get better. I think that they'll understand each other. But Lewis is really doesn't seem happy in the car. He's not getting a consistent car from Ferrari. Leclerc gets a better car from Ferrari, and they're treating him like the number 1 driver. They should, but they still have Lewis Hamilton on the team, and he's not a Carlos Sainz or anything like that. Like, he is the greatest of all time. So I expect Ferrari to start to get their act together. The Canadian Grand Prix is next week. Really exciting track. Love that straightaway and that braking zone leading to the finish line. That's where all the big DRS comes in. We'll see if they've changed it, long, shorter. I think it was really long before. Last year it rained like crazy race. I expect the McLarens to be good. I expect Verstappen to be good because he's really good at Jacques Villeneuve. But I still think McLaren has the upper hand in next week. All right, Kyle Kirkwood wins in the streets of Detroit in pretty dominating fashion. Once Palou got ran into with 16 laps left. He was like 8th. He got ran into. So his amazing start, ends with a DNF. Unfortunately, he's not going to get his 6th win in 7 races. He's still the championship frontrunner. Kirkwood is a 2-time winner this year. He is 2nd in the points, 76 points behind. So it's getting definitely closer. Santino Ferrucci finishes 2nd. As Andretti Global kind of dominates Detroit once again, just like last year. Colton Herta finishes 3rd from pole. I feel like Palou's still going to dominate, Will Power had a good race going. Unfortunately, McLaughlin got crashed into. But, you know, I think that it's going to be a great championship still. It's only 76 points, but right now it is still dominated by Alex Palou, and I expect that to keep going. The guy is amazing, except when we get onto the ovals, then you get your Joseph Newgardens and your Scott Dixons and, the people that, the Will Powers. I expect Cal Kirkwood to keep going forward with this success. It was a really fun race, really tight quarters in Detroit. The one mistake and you're in the wall. It's 9 turns. It was quick, but it was very fun to watch. And then Ryan Blaney puts Penske back on top in Nashville, dominant fashion. Carson Hocevar finishes second. Hamlin finishes third. Larson fights from the back to finish 8th. Byron finishes 5th after being up front most of the day in the top 5 positions. After a dip in performance the last few weeks, Penske made it happen. Now he's back in the playoffs after winning a championship a year ago or 2 years ago. Now him and Logano are both, I believe, back in the championship. I expect Larson to be, good. Moving forward, the next race is today, and we are going to. It's at Michigan. Tyler Reddick won last year. Tyler Reddick is a guy that I expect to start, putting it together here soon. He's just too good not to be finishing in the top 5 consistently and winning races. As of right now, Chase Briscoe is your number 1 qualifier. Kyle Busch, number 2. Denny Hamlin, William Byron 4, Kyle Larson 5th. Okay, so it's going to be Chris Buescher. So we have Toyotas, we have Chevys, we have Fords up there. Chris Buescher, Josh Berry, Ty Gibbs 8th. Okay, very nice. Tyler Reddick 12th, Carson Hocevar, Joey Logano 15th. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a very good race at 2 o'clock. Michigan's a really nice track. Pretty fast, but at the same time, you have to be finesse with it. It is 2 miles. It is a tri-oval. It's quick. Some drafting, but it's a wide track. But I expect Kyle Larson, somebody of that ilk. If not, Kyle Busch, look for Kyle Busch to probably surprise there and get a win and put himself in the playoffs. And lastly, guys, it finally happened. Aaron Rodgers signs a 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Happened yesterday. What does this mean for the Steelers? Absolutely not. Nothing. Nothing at all. This doesn't. To me, this improves the Steelers a little bit. Have to see what that running game is like. Have to see what that offensive line is like. See what TJ Watt's going to come out like. Since they still haven't given him a contract. I think that just with DK and Freiermuth, there will have some success, but he's still the 3rd best quarterback in that division. And that's not including maybe Shador could be better. At the age that Aaron is now, maybe Shador could be better with the Browns, but we shall see about that. Right now, I'm putting him 3rd, clearly behind Lamar and Joe. Does this give them more of a chance that they had with Mason Rudolph? Absolutely. But this was their 3rd choice. They went after Stafford. Didn't get him. They also went after, I believe it was Geno. If not Geno, another one of the big, Sam Darnold. I think they went after Sam Darnold. They didn't get him either. So this is their 3rd option, Aaron Rodgers. He held out enough, but he didn't hold out for minicamp or anything like that. He is in the building. We're going to see some good play from him, but I think that overall it's just not going to amount to 2-3 playoff wins, an exciting future. Maybe he teaches Will Howard But he faces the Jets week 1, so shout out to the schedule makers. He does face the Packers. He faces the whole NFC North, so it's going to be very fun to see what happens in that regard. But I don't think this does anything crazy for the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my honest opinion. I know you guys, some of the big covers, the people that cover the Steelers and are fans, especially online, urinating tree, chiseled Adonis. I know that they feel the same about this move. They're just not confident. They're confident in their defense, but they're just not confident that this will leap their offensive firepower to a place where they can possibly go after a title or make a deep playoff run, especially with Arthur Smith and his unconventional style of play calling to get people that are not their stars touches. But yeah, other than that, guys, I love you guys. Thank you guys for supporting me. Follow me on all my socials. Like, comment, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll leave you all with the outro.